When Ollie came to see me, he had developed an obsessive compulsive disorder, an OCD, which manifested as the last word that he heard, he had to count the number of letters in his head first of all, and only if he could spell it, and then he would have to count them out on his fingers. Now, Ollie was doing this counting and this processing while he was taking part in still an active life. He was still at school. He would be doing his lessons as well as doing this counting. He was, and still is, a very keen and very good little rugby player. And even on the rugby pitch, Ollie would still be counting on his fingers. And he'd actually got to a point, and there'd been some bullying at school, and he got to the point when this was really starting to affect his life. And his mum had taken him through the usual process that you would take a kid, doctors and through therapists, etc. But nobody was really having an impact or making it any better for Ollie. So Ollie came to see me, and in the hour that followed, I went through a number of processes with Ollie around some incomplete emotions he had that were causing him a stress and an anxiety. And this was Ollie's way of dealing with that. It had progressed and it had taken hold, and it was having a very obvious and severe impact on this kid's life. Ollie came back for another session. He actually came back for 2 other sessions. But the second session was around clearing up some residual energies that he had stored. He had stopped the counting after our session, and later on in the evening it had resumed. And when I spoke to him and asked him, he said that he'd had the actual thought, oh, I'm not counting, and that's what had triggered it again. So we dealt with some more energies, and as I said, he did come back for a 3rd session. But after being in my clinic for about 5 minutes, I said, Ollie, there really isn't anything there, is there? And he said, no, but I just like coming out and hanging out with you. So I popped him back in my car and took him straight back to school. Bless him. But Ollie's life changed. Ollie's life could have been very, very different if his mum had not taken that leap of faith and come and seen me and done something very different than just following a regular path.